Here I am in Silverthorne. There's the American flag. It's raining. It was snowing before and it's cleared up, but up higher where I was before it was in the snow. Anyway, I couldn't drive through here. The sun was shining and it was just so beautiful that I couldn't drive through without I had to stop. And it was a fortuitous thing that I did. I got two of my best interviews of the day, so to speak. Anyway, you can see where the freeway goes up there. It kind of looks like Park City in a way. But yeah, cool place. And this will be a good trailer for my interviews with Akuna and Don. This is Akuna, and he's agreed to answer the 3 dream questions. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, the first question is, what are your hopes and dreams?
My hopes and dreams are really just to reach people, to inspire the people who need it most, at the time they need it. The last 4 seasons now, since 2016, I've been hiking back and forth across the country, and I've been sharing, my journeys, my adventures on Instagram and a few other places to kind of inspire people, to show them you can accomplish more things than you actually think you can. You just gotta really want to do it and get out there and just drive. And part of that came from years of dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder from my military service and having no answer to it.
You were in Iraq, you said?
Yes, I was stationed in Iraq back in 2003, around the time the war first started. And all the things that happened there and all the things I saw there, it affected me the rest of my life. So I went through a lot of depression, a lot of suicidal thoughts, a lot of just not wanting to be part of society at all. And at one point, I just got to the point where I needed to do something really, really extreme to try to shake the dark clouds. And that's when I decided to attempt the PCT in 2016 from Mexico to Canada. It's like, I couldn't think of anything.
PCT is the
Pacific Crest Trail.
Okay.
But 2,650 miles of walking was, I think, the extreme thing I needed to, just get the dark clouds away. And since
2,000 miles, 2,050 miles?
2,650 miles.
650 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. So I went out there that year and attempted it, made it 1,600 miles, and I dislocated my knee, but I was hooked after that. And I went back the next year and started straight from the beginning and made it all the way. But during this time, I realized that this was helping me more than any medication or treatment I was getting from the VA. And at that point, that's when I realized this hike isn't about me anymore. It's about sharing it with other people who could benefit from it. And at first, it was just for veterans and people dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder. But over the times I was out, I realized that I was one of the few people of color that were actually out in the outdoors. And when people were contacting me, I was getting those questions a lot. People of color were wondering if this was a safe place for us. They wanted to go in nature, they wanted to go camping, but thought this was something that may be off limits. So the other thing I started doing was trying to inspire more people of color to get out into the outdoors and to get into nature and to hike. If this is a place they want to be, then they should be there. And by seeing me on my adventures and doing my things, it's been getting more people out there, making them more comfortable. So that's my dream, is to inspire more people and to reach the people who need it most at the right moment.
I'm going to ask one more question about this dream. Because?
Why?
Yeah.
Because when I was going through my darkest times, I think I was looking for a lifeline. And there was no one really out there that I could talk to that could inspire me to do the things that I wanted to. And, a lot of people don't have that person in their lives. So I figured, why should I do this? Because people need it.
Yeah. It's a very unselfish thing. And so in the end, what are you envisioning the results of this to be? I mean, you other people are going to have your same type of an experience. Is that what you're looking at?
That's what I'm hoping for. What I try to do is basically just spread a lot of positivity And I realized positivity is contagious. You know, when people follow my page, they are telling me, you know, this is the best part of my day. You always make my day. You put a smile on my face. And that positivity leaks over to the rest of their life. So even when they're having one of their worst days, you know, just that little bit of positivity can change everything. So,
well, we're
that's
certainly going to post your link on
Cool.
on this interview. That's. Do you remember what your dreams were pre-military, pre-junior high, in elementary school and stuff?
As a kid, I think I always thought I was going to be like a star basketball player, football player. You know, I always dreamed of being an astronaut. And at one small point in time in my life, I thought about politics. But I went to the military, and goals kind of changed after I started dealing with some of the physical and mental disabilities that I had to deal with.
Okay. And those changed at the military, the time of the military. That was kind of a turning point for you.
I had a great time in the military. It was, you know, a good part of my life. It was just after the military, no one really teaches you how to be a civilian again. And that transition is rough on so many of us, and it just leads to some dark moments.
Oh, I know a lot of people. I have kind of a guilt thing about Vietnam. I lost some friends in Vietnam, and I missed the draft, and I wasn't going to enlist. And so I can't imagine what it was like. Thank you for that
No problem.
service, that work. The last question is, if you could go back and talk to your 13-year-old self or your 12-year-old self, or if you could talk to a group of 13 or 15-year-olds or whatever, or people just starting out to get married or whatever, what advice would you give them?
I would tell them to not be afraid to make mistakes. You know, most of us are going to make them daily. We're never going to get it right the first time. So don't let that be a barrier from you doing the things you want to do. And I would also tell these people, or my younger self, that after, you know, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to buck the status quo, and, you know, do some of the things you want to do and not all the things that's expected of you. You know, like a lot of people believe you can't be happy unless you get married and have children, if you go to college and a career, but that lifestyle may not be suited for you at that time. So don't be afraid to say, you know, I'm not going to do the norm, and I'm just going to go hike the country for, you know, a couple years or a couple months. So I would say, you know, don't be afraid to make mistakes and spend more time doing the things you want to do.
And hopefully one of those things would be nature.
Nature would be great, but if that's not your bag, you know, it's not your bag.
Okay.
So maybe it's travel in a different form, maybe it's teaching, maybe it's going scuba diving, but these are things we have to do in life. You know, a lot of your life is, you know, doing everything that's expected of you. We don't spend enough time doing the things that we want to do. And no one wants to sit around, you know, when they're older, wishing they would have did this, that, or the other. So I would tell my young self, you know, spend some time for you. It's great healing. You know, it's something that we need.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Is there anything that came to mind as you were answering the questions that you'd like to add? Not a requirement.
Nothing that came to mind right there other than, you know, I'm really loving, you know, that I'm starting to live my dreams, and I'm starting to do the things that I probably should have been doing for myself earlier. And it's like the positive vibes and attitude. It's contagious now. I just can't stop. So when you start, you know, doing some of the things you want to do for you, just look out. The floodgates are opening.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you.